Last time on Rock and RollCaster.
This always happens. You can even get lost when you have a GPS. We got some little bit of distance to go up. I think this is where the real fun begins. Let's go lake number 2. Oh man, no way. Oh man, no way. Oh. Oh. Holy. I think they forgot about the wheelchair access on this one.
Generally, I like to research the history of the places I go to in order to gain a little perspective on how names were arrived at, significant events, and those who have stepped foot there before me. The memorial lakes in which I'm going to are so named in honor of the tragic events involving 3 related plane crashes and the 13 unfortunate souls who subsequently lost their lives in this immediate area in June 1986. I didn't know this until later, but at the highest altitude lake, an official cairn was installed to commemorate the crashes and those who lost their lives. And this will definitely be a site I'll visit on my next trip here. It could be coincidence, but perhaps this area has something to it. It can explain why I lost my bearings, my GPS lost its bearings, both in the exact same part of the hike, going to the lake and then coming back.
If it wasn't me, this would be funny. And I see a path. So, what did I just do here? Did I go up something really, really bad when I never had to? Or the shortcut? This we'll find out on the way back, as usual. As you order, Mr. Garmin. Several paths on this. This one looks more official. I know, I said it at the beginning of the show that it's going to be harder than you think, and then take that into consideration. It'll be harder than that. Well, I'm just past that one now. And just thinking about the way home, we're at a point now where it worries me a little bit thinking about going home, right? For the amount of time it takes. Oh. I think that's the path up there. I believe those guys might be stalking a lake. They got a big rope hanging down off that helicopter. And that's how they do it. They drop those fish in. Is that cool? Now let me think, what lake would that be? We are alpine, baby. So I'm a little worried about this water. I haven't seen any life in here. I would be lying if I said I didn't harbor a few doubts. But we won't know until we get a hook in there. So let's get set up. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting on, this is called a deadly dick, and it's there's another company called Castmaster that uses these things, and this is a very, very heavy hook, and it's small, so it's very dense for its size. It means that you can cast it a long ways because of its aerodynamics and its mass that it has. So I'm going to try this one, and what this represents is basically a flailing fish in its death throes as it's swimming back through, back towards me. And in lakes like this, if you want big fish, sometimes you got to put big hooks on there. You're probably wondering why I don't have a fly on yet. Well, I like to dry fly on these lakes, and I've seen very, very little surface activity. So I'm going to stick with what's underneath the water and give these guys what they want for now. I can't believe it. I thought this lake was dead for sure. Right. Here we are. Hey. That's a big one. That's a nice fish. And we're off to the races. I can't believe it. Yes! All right, so we got our fish today, and it's a really, really nice one. So that's really good. I'll be honest, I was really shocked when I saw this water, and I was really worried that there might have been nothing in here. I think what we do, because I've seen them rise over there, is go into that side, and then maybe I'll get the fly rod out. So once upon a time, the water level was up at the ridge here. And that's just the natural progression of what happens over the course of summertime. You'll have less runoff. These lakes have less input. See, that's all you have left in terms of glaciers feeding these things. So now I need to see some dark shadows swimming along the edge of the weed bed here, if that's what you call it. I don't see many over here. This looks a little more promising over here. Got a better drop off. Okay, I think we might have to try the fly rod out. The only action I've seen is a few coming off the surface here, and there's like a big mayfly hatch going on. I don't know, I keep hearing noises. Things going through the bush over there. There we go. There we go. And my watch is just notifying me that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I've just burned 3,700 calories. Active people, a lot of them will only burn about 2,400 in an entire day, maybe even including a workout. That's going to put me in projection probably for over 6 today. Anyone who wants to burn off the old Molson muscle or beer gut, this is the way to do it. You have a blast here at the lake. All right, so as the day goes on, this lake is getting more beautiful and beautiful with this water. See if we can nail this one. Basically landed right on his head, so I probably spooked it out. But you never know. Well, there's big fish in this lake. Obviously, the one I caught was big. But when you can also tell by how much water is moved when they come up to the surface. What kind of sound that water makes. A big fish simply just moves more, and you can tell. There we go. See, the more screwed up I make the presentation, the more they like it. And I can't screw it up on purpose enough as when my line or something is messed up. This feels like a small one, but yeah, it's small. Oh, that's not that bad. The big fish in here, I can't even come close to that thing. But I got one. And it's big. Yes. Oh, way out there, and it's big. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh yeah. Fish on. Got off. Way out there in the middle. Can't get out there with the fly rod. Beautiful. Let's catch a couple more and let's go home. Okay, that was pretty successful. I had a good time here. It took these guys a little while to wake up, but I was really worried there at the start. I thought this lake was a dead lake, judging by its initial looks, but I'm glad I'm wrong sometimes. So, I don't know, I think I caught about 8 fish today, but they're a good size, especially the first one. The first one I think was over 4 pounds. I'm going to take that guy home and measure it, but I bet you it's over 20 inches. So, to catch a fish that size up in these alpine lakes, that's a trophy fish. So, that is definitely worth the effort coming up here. Now, will it be worth the effort going back down the hill? Because we've got some work to do ahead of us, and it looks like it's going to rain. So I mentioned before, it's not just about the fishing. It's about the sheer beauty that you experience doing this stuff. And that's just gorgeous. When you got that kind of a backdrop as well. I don't know. Me personally, I never get sick of that. In all the different ones I go to. It's just amazing. You're always looking down at the ground to make sure your footing is all good, and then you're missing out on all that. Wow. And I'm wondering if I can somehow escape that cliff I went around. That sketchy cliff. Oh, nice. This is a nice path. Better than that piece of shit I took up. You got a cairn. It says I'm right for once. As usual, I find the path on the way back. As usual, every time. I see another cairn. Sometimes it's the most beautiful sight in the world. Well, we made it back, everyone. Ooh, that was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. But we got some fish. to bring home for dinner. We got out of there alive. You know what? If it wasn't for that GPS, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would have made it out of there or made it to that lake. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it to the lake if I didn't have the GPS. It's just as simple as that. So I'm going to say that I probably took a wrong turn at least 8 or 9 times today. There's a couple really bad ones, especially on the way back. I followed the right trail for the most of the way, and then the thing just disappeared again, and then I ended up it was like a twilight zone in there, and ended up bushwhacking trying to find the right path again. It was like I lost my bearings, and it was like my Garmin lost its bearings. Maybe we're in a magnetically shielded area or something with some magnetic interference. So anyways, it was what are the stats on this? So my GPS says I did 860 meters of elevation gain, which is significant. That's a big day. I burned 5,800 calories. I walked 22 kilometers. Like that's a lot of miles today. That's a real gut burner, gut buster. The trail itself, I thought it was really easy until the end, and then we ended up in some pretty crazy climbing there, and it didn't help that I lost the trail. So I ended up doing a lot more harder stuff than I intentionally. And they made a really sketchy path on the side of that one cliff where I felt like my stomach was going to vomit. Big heavy backpack on the back, grabbing onto rocks to try to make sure that it don't fall over. Anyways, the lake, it was that was a different lake. I thought it was dead, and it's got some big fish in there, and it's I think I definitely would go back 100% for sure. It looks like a pretty cool place to camp. I think I'd probably do that so I could spend a bit of time. I wouldn't mind climbing up and checking out what the third lake looks like, even though it's not supposed to have fish in it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.